minasan, selamat datang diucapkan untuk anda yang mengikuti sesi ini secara langsung dan juga kepada anda yang menonton setelah live stream ini berakhir ke sesi kolaborasi STOMACHOFCHAOS bersama laman pop culture suka ramai BuzzPopTV. Seperti biasa, saya Kudo Maharizu dari laman blog STOMACHOFCHAOS.com bersama para panelis dari BuzzPop akan beri reaksi dan ulasan siri anime Cyberpunk EDGERUNNERS yang sekarang disiarkan sebanyak 10 episod di laman streaming Netflix. Kepada anda yang menonton sesi ini setelah live stream ini berakhir, silalah langgan kepada laman YouTube STOMACHOFCHAOS dan BuzzPopTV supaya anda tidak ketinggalan untuk menonton live stream kami yang akan datang, dan jangan lupa untuk tenyeh butang like. Untuk makluman anda yang belum pernah mengikuti sesi ulasan kami, perbincangan kami akan mengandungi spoiler. Oleh itu kami sarankan kepada anda yang masih belum menonton siri ini untuk menonton Cyberpunk EDGERUNNERS ni dahulu dan kembali ke video ini untuk mengikuti ulasan kami. Now with the formalities out of the way, bersama saya panelis malam ini terdiri daripada anime sensei and isekai waifu hunter Andre Alwi. How are you tonight, man?
I'm fine. Chama-chama, konnichiwa, dan salam salume deswa. What's happening, man? What's up, cumis?
Kenyang.
That's what's happening. Tak gelak dah.
Yeah. Munif, I don't know Munif has seen this before, but there you go. Next we have Kaki Anime and Gundam Meister Shazli American. He's got his hat on today, so that's the reason. How are you, man?
Oh. Hi, hello. Glad to be here. Quite surprised that we went into a full bedah, sebab initially dia macam kita just mention sepintas lalu je. In one hour bedah, but then it's like kawan-kawan kita pun tanya, tak buat ke? And then in other other episodes of kita punya bedah pun, a lot of people say, tak bedah ke? Like, okay.
We heard in the comment section on Facebook and blah blah blah. Yeah. And also we have together with us tonight, for the first time in the anime division, our Mr. All-Rounder Encik Munif Malik. Wow, they're very formal. Encik. Yeah, how are you, man? Encik tu.
Doing fine, thank you. So I've actually dah lama dah nak cari masa dan alasan to visit the anime division. So we have an opportunity today. The stars were aligned. So let's just give it a go.
Yeah, the stars have to do with me being in Malaysia. I mean, I wish I can work 4 days a week, so I can have like a Friday or Monday off. Then I can do. Why do you want to take 1 day off, sir? I want to do anime live streaming. That'll go well. Anyway, okay. As usual, sebelum kami start, at the beginning of the session, we'll do a reaksi satu ayat. Tapi sebagai pengenalan kepada, like just to summarize, mari kita saksikan video clip DIY dari kami, because you know, in the spirit of punk's not dead. The ethos of DIY is important, so have a look see.
Kita semua pasti mengenali konsep punk sebagai sebuah subkultur yang luas, merangkumi di antaranya anti-authoritarianism, anti-corporate, ethos do-it-yourself dan sebagainya. Sikit sebanyak mempengaruhi muzik dan fashion bermula dari awal 70-an lagi. Manakala cyberpunk pula adalah sebuah subgenre sci-fi yang kebiasaannya memaparkan dunia distopia di mana teknologi dicampur adukkan dengan watak-watak marhin tersisih yang bergelumang dengan penggunaan dadah dan aktiviti jenayah. Ianya bukan konsep yang baru. Cyberpunk dapat dilihat di hasil penulisan sci-fi seawal 1960-an. Cyberpunk selalu dikaitkan dengan hasil penulisan William Gibson bertajuk Neuromancer. Namun contoh-contoh lain genre cyberpunk boleh kita lihat di dalam filem Blade Runner yang diadaptasi dari novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep pada tahun 1968 oleh penulis Philip K. Dick, atau siri Judge Dredd dari komik 2000 AD, dan juga siri manga Akira oleh Otomo Katsuhiro dan Ghost in the Shell oleh Shiro Masamune. Cyberpunk 2077 dihasilkan CD Projekt Red, sebuah syarikat permainan video dari Poland pada tahun 2020 yang mempunyai masalahnya tersendiri yang nanti kita boleh kupaskan dalam ulasan bersama panelis malam ini. Siri anime Cyberpunk EDGERUNNERS ini pula merupakan projek bersama CDPR dan Studio Trigger, di mana cerita ini bertempat 1 tahun sebelum permainan video Cyberpunk 2077. Secara ringkas, Cyberpunk EDGERUNNERS mengisahkan David Martinez yang dibesarkan oleh ibunya Gloria, seorang paramedic yang membanting tulang untuk memasukkan David ke ARASAKA Academy. Malang tidak berbau, David dan ibunya mengalami kemalangan jalan raya yang mengakibatnya ibunya terkorban. David yang sekarang tinggal sebatang kara menjumpai sebuah implan bergrade ketenteraan yang bernama Sandevistan di rumahnya. Cyberpunk EDGERUNNER ditajuki Rafal Jaki, penulis cerita asal, showrunner dan executive producer bagi pihak CDPR, dan IMAISHI Hiroyuki, pengarah utama yang juga pengasas studio Trigger yang sebelum ini seorang animator dari Gainax, bersama Otsuka Masahiko, seorang lagi pengasas studio Trigger yang bertanggungjawab untuk screenplay Cyberpunk EDGERUNNERS dan juga IP lain dari Trigger seperti Darling in the Franxx dan Little Witch Academia, dan Yoshinori Yo. Mereka bentuk watak untuk Cyberpunk EDGERUNNERS. Tanpa berlengah masa, mari kita mulakan perbincangan Cyberpunk EDGERUNNERS malam ini dengan reaksi satu ayat.
Right, okay. So reaksi satu ayat bagi SIRI Cyberpunk EDGERUNNERS. So for me, fast paced, I enjoyed it to the max, and all hail Studio Trigger. Ini datang daripada seseorang yang tak tahu langsung tentang IP ni, tak pernah main game dia, tengok cerita ni as it is. It tak dipengaruhi oleh reviews, tak dipengaruhi oleh sesiapa. Saya rasa cerita ni best. Okay, let's start with Shaz. With his hat.
Okay, bagi yang tak biasa, kalau topi macam ni menghala ke belakang macam ni, that means there's going to be a negative comment lah. So,
Go ahead.
reaksi satu ayat saya adalah saya sangat kecewa, sedih, apa lagi, marah, stres, frust,
Marah.
dan pelbagai lagi. Sebab anime ni cuma 10 episod.
Oh, hang nak kata.
Honestly, dalam 10 episod tu, kita ada cukup material untuk at least saya boleh bagi 3 different style at least 13 episode untuk short format anime, 24 to 26 for full 2 half year punya ni, or even you can make 30 episodes, that means 3 kali 10, sebab there was enough material tau for you to stretch it and then to really get us to really enjoy the characters. So bila dah habis 10 episod macam like, weh, ada sequel tak? Aku dah cari-cari tau. Next. Tengok dah episod 10. So very sad, very stress, very sedih sebab ada 10 episod saja.
Okay. And what about you, Andri?
If it's one word, it will be tragic. If it's one line, it will be a tragic tale of human choices. Because this story actually is a very good story, but I'm in agreement with Shazli. It should have been more than 10 episodes. The creators should have done it like macam Evangelion, Gainax, 25 to 26 episodes. There's a lot of characters to expand. A lot of things are rushed, but the pacing is okay. It's just that they push it too fast, too quick. Now, I mean, they didn't take the time to actually let us explore the world in more greater detail and the characters now.
Okay, I wouldn't ask this of Shaz, but I'm going to ask this of you because you've played the game. Are you saying this
Yes.
as a person who played the game, or say that you, or otherwise? Or
Okay,
you would
I
say, or would you say the same thing regardless whether you played the game or not?
Okay, I'm one of the unfortunate bastards who bought the game on console for the PS4. Yeah.
Takziah.
So
Damn.
I know firsthand kan how shitty the game is, and it is shitty, but it was enjoyable. Now I played the game on my PS4 for 8 hours, and then I gave up.
Dia tak bagi DLC nak improve langsung Dia tak bagi fix it.
Ada kasih the following week, the following months, and then I saw the size. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like apa downloading GTA 5 again? Apa? This is bullshit. Just to repair the game. I mean, this is not worth it. I must as well do something else, play the game, and I did play the game. I finished several games. So
Tapi kan right now they have new upgrades which a lot of players yang dah return disebabkan EDGERUNNER ni, they're saying is much better improvement. But
the current game lah ni.
Okay, they said that for the PC version. Now, I'm not sure if it's okay for the PS4 version. I didn't buy a PS5. The PS5 runs well enough. But PS4, they was quiet about it. They're like, fuck you. Maybe this will push you to buy PS5. I haven't tried to replay it back again. So I'm telling you firsthand from my experience, from 8 hours gaming in. There was a walkthrough phase. It took me macam pecah kepala tau, because the gambar, the physics motions, everything, the frame rate betul-betul cekik saya tau, spiritually. I couldn't actually enjoy the game as much as I can, but I was enjoying it. It was a good game. But they sell us an unfinished product for full price. And then piss me off again.
Patutnya dia buat macam Steam tau. Steam they have early access. They release the game in early access punya stage.
They should, but if they did that right, no one was going to buy it.
Oh, that's the thing, because dia punya investors and stockholder yang buat hal. So
okay. I'm going to stop you there because this question is going to be spilling over into segment 1 because I just wanted to quickly touch the game and the story. So we'll go to Munif. Please be my friend for tonight and say that you like it. Because everybody hates it.
No, I like it. So, it's just that I think it's better.
The reaksi satu ayat aku is that actually bukan satu ayat, satu perkataan lah, is that redemption lah. Pasal whether you love or hate the anime, which I personally like, but I agree with the point cakap about the whole pacing thing, that it was definitely too short, it was definitely a bit rushed. They could have definitely milked it a bit, or bukanlah milked it, macam let us simmer a bit with our investment towards some of the characters kan. Ni macam baru 1.5 episode kenal dia, dah gila, dah mati dah. Itu macam kan. So if it were more than 10 episodes, if you thought the hurt at the end tu hurt, it would have been lagi lah epically.
Fair enough.
If it was more, but having said that, it was okay lah for an original IP. It's a really well put together anime. It was superbly animated. The characters, despite the lack of screen time and development, were very memorable and very kita attached dengan dia orang like quite quick, very relatable, very human in a sci-fi setting. Tapi kenapa reaksi satu ayat tu aku cakap redemption, pasal like I said, here's the thing that's actually quite clever commercially lah, so to speak, because whether you love or hate the anime, it started chatter again for the game. So we know like there's no such thing as bad publicity and whatever. People started talking about the game. People who love the anime and macam, you know, I need to get the game. I'm gonna fuck this like the Adam Smasher in the game. No? So macam they got the game because they were invested in the plot. And then orang yang tak bother about the anime pun, why is like CYBERPUNK viral again? Macam best sangat ke anime? And suddenly they'll end up in one way or another either revisiting the game or checking out the anime or touching the IP in some way, you know. And even the haters pula yang macam tak suka the anime or the game or both whatever, dia kan macam banyak orang tak pergi balik kan. Maybe to prove a point, these guys will end up going back to the game. Aku nak tengok apa yang dah lain sangat, apa yang dah improve sangat semua. So that's why I can't remember what the exact figure was when they said that there was an influx of new players in the game. Those are not just people who love the anime tau. It's the naysayers, it's the curious guys, it's the neutrals, and the guys who absolutely love the anime. So memang gila-gila babi redemption because of the anime. Dia tarik a whole demographic of people to give the game another chance. So to me that's really really clever lah. Pasal you produce an enjoyable anime series, that's one thing. At the same time, you kind of it's like jumpstart balik the heart of the game itself lah. So my one word is that lah, redemption lah. It definitely is.
Yeah,
Dia punya-
in a way, redemption for CDPR.
Yes.
and they are releasing something called Orion. Related, is that an extension to the game? Anybody knows?
Expansion kedua.
To the world,
They initially planned for one expansion, but they're making a second one now.
Okay.
They committed to make it work lah. Credit to them. They are committed
In
to
fact-
make Cyberpunk a hit lah. They trying.
In fact,
And
anime
interestingly,
ni,
they actually announced the anime when 2 years ago, masa they
Yeah.
actually announced the game, and Trigger was already on board. And to think that it took them a while, and then, when the game came out, game pula buat hal, tapi then it was COVID and all that kind of stuff. But anime just went on lah in the development. But yeah, interesting though. Sorry, Shaz wanted to say something. I cut you off.
the impact of the anime is just like the trailer for Deadpool 3. Benda yang orang dah macam dah penat apa benda Cyberpunk lagi ni. That single moment when the release of that trailer sama macam the release of this anime, it completely changed the perception tau. Something macam like orang macam first time dengar, is this a good thing? Sebab a lot of kids now dah grown up in the past 2-3 years. And then a lot of all the macam Munif kata, the naysayers come back. And the people yang macam kata, bukan ini dia kata tak bagus ke? That's why aku tak beli. So now the naysayers pun bawa kawan dia datang, the patch is not stable. You know that kind of thing. They even hit a new record of concurrent players, 100,000 orang. Which they haven't done in at least a year or two online at the same time. So that was amazing.
So, we'll seg on to to our first segment, still on the kind of the same topic. So we'll go on to the first segment. So there's not much in the way of a comment from chat. So let's just go ahead to mari kita ke segment terus. Right, so segment pertama, which is basically kind of like we are still along the lines of Inception daripada CD Projekt Red ke Trigger. So I guess at first I thought I was going to ask Shaz the same question, but Shaz didn't really play the game. So Andri, you don't have to like go over the same thing if some of the bits that's in the questions is that's been relayed to us earlier on. So siri anime ni telah diperkenalkan semasa sebuah sesi stream langsung action. Start game. Siri anime ni mula diperkenalkan semasa sebuah sesi stream langsung untuk game Cyberpunk 2077 oleh CD Projekt Red lebih kurang 2 tahun yang lepas. Kepada para panelis yang lebih arif like yourself, apakah pengalaman anda bermain Cyberpunk 2077 other than what you've told us, dan adakah anda merasakan pengalaman ini heightened your viewing experience apabila menonton CD ni? So silakan.
Okay, let me make this clear. The anime is much better than the game because the game is buggy, it's unstable, crash a lot, and also dia punya programming is quite fucked up lah. Let me tell you this. In GTA, right, if you langgar tiang besi, right, macam the lamppost dia pecah, runtuh. It's not the same here. You langgar, basically you cannot. There's no macam collateral damage to the outside world. And the NPCs react dumb. I mean, the police kan, they're almost blind tau when you commit a crime in that area. But for some reason kan, they appear everywhere tau when you trigger some sort of crime. And sometimes you trigger kan tak tentu. It's very frustrating. So in the anime, you are part of the storyline. You see how everything plays out, how the characters react. You see Gloria at her job, and then you see the shootout dekat highway kan. That's actually a good scene because it shows you kan how vulnerable life is in Night City at that time tau. You do not get half of that appreciation feeling when you play the game because the world doesn't interact with you. You interact with the world, but the world kadang-kadang tak interact back with you. So your enjoyment is limited in that sense. So for me, right, unless they fix the NPC problem, right, I don't think the new players yang datang because of the redemption punya effect kan is going to stay long. Yeah.
Because they're gonna come to a shitty game if it's not fixed.
If you're a PS4 player like me, right? PS4 player for me, I'm not going to buy a PS5 and buy the game again for the second time. I'm not even going to go to Steam or buy this game kan for a second time just to play on my PC because I'm a cheap fuck, to say the least lah. I'm not going to buy the same thing twice. So if I play my game on PS4, right, and the still buggy, still unstable, tapi ada macam minor improvement, right, it's not enough for me to stay on. This game will probably take you more like 30, 40 hours of gameplay hours of gameplay, and I'm pretty sure if I play it straight with all these frustrations I'll probably die earlier than I'm supposed to.
This is just a quick question from chat. I'm sure I know what the answer is, but both these characters are created for the anime, isn't it? Because obviously this is set before
it's created for the anime, but they appear as some sort of like what you call that thing,
Avatar?
not Avatar, macam what you call that thing, macam yang the Marvel always buat tu,
foreshadowing?
not foreshadowing, nak kata cameo kan, cameo.
NPC.
Not NPC. It's like apa? It's like when you macam kat Thor, right? You see the hand of Thanos kan yang keluar tu. What do you call that?
Easter egg lah.
They always pull certain things that they say it's canon. In the game, right? Right now, after the updates, right? You can get Rebecca's shotgun at the place where. There's a drink at the bar that's called the David Martinez. You can go to Kiwi's apartment. Tempat dia bogel selalu hack at that place. They exist in the universe, but they're not there lah. Obviously. They're not there.
Yeah. Shaz, have you got anything to add as somebody who, as I remember it, followed the development of the game, albeit didn't exactly manage to play it?
Bagi yang tak kenal the universe, it started as a pen and paper RPG. I tak ingat tahun bila, pre-2000 kot. It was initially Cyberpunk 2020. So as part of the creation of Cyberpunk 2077, dia punya original creator Mike Pondsmith sendiri yang collaborate dengan CD Projekt Red. So when that was announced, there was a lot of hype lah. Dia masih ada press event di mana all special guests datang tengok, and they cannot record anything, but they were like very impressed, and the hype was, how do we put it, to the level of melampau tau. It went to the point of orang dah nak pecah kepala punya hype. So when they started announcing akan ada anime, they're gonna do a new pen and paper RPG, there might be a sequel, people just went like, dah jadi gila. So you can imagine the horrible impact bila the game was not as good. That being said, the anime itself, kalau kita compare with all the things that were promised in the game, the anime actually delivered better than the game. So kita push the game aside, you get to see the life of orang yang tak ada duit dalam Night City. You boleh tengok sebab it is ultimately based on the game, so you can see that they have specializations. Macam Lucy is a netrunner. Siapa ni, dia punya leader main was the fighter type punya ni. Then you have the fixer, which you cannot play in the game, but I'm pretty sure kalau usually the fixer will be the one that the
gives you the job,
the control dia akan bagi the jobs and whatnot. So each of these character class and all that, dia ada limits daripada skill dia, and later on pun kita akan talk about cyberware and stuff. Dia ada reasoning dia. That one kita akan go slightly deeper lah. But you can tell that what they wanted to show in the game, they wanted to bagi kita experience dalam the game, dia fully captured in the anime. So kalau you tak pernah main the game pun, it feels like you already have a good summary of what it is like to be in Night City.
Cool. Anyway, so I've got another question, and this one is, I guess, I was being presumptuous, tapi kemudian aku tanya tadi pun, in a way hang tak main kan game ni kan. So sebagai penonton siri ni yang tak main game ni really as much as Andri did, adakah anda merasai by not playing the game, does it give a potential that it may hindarkan pengalaman anda untuk mendalami siri ini? And conversely, adalah anda sekarang tergerak untuk try nak main game ni? Ya, silakan.
Okay. I really believe I have a kind of a unique perspective on the whole IP lah. Pasal I did play the free demo kejap je. And sebab aku pun macam Andri juga, which is aku pun main atas PS4. So I was like, why does this look like a PS3 game? So sebab memang is a console tu memang tak boleh support lah kalau nak dipendekkan cerita kan. Tapi pasal at that point of time, lagi ramai orang bermain PS4 daripada orang yang get their hands on the PS5. Naturally, to make money, even though the game is not compatible with the previous gen console, fuck it, we're gonna sell it there juga. So that's just the suits doing their thing and like being part of the fuck up of the whole launch of the game lah. So aku main kejap. Free trial lah, it was unbearable. So aku tak nak torture diri sendiri and I stopped. But because of that, in a way aku main tapi aku tak main juga. So when the anime hit, dia jadi aku dapat two perspectives to the question of whether it enhances your viewing or is it crucial to know the game first before tengok ni. Okay, so in one way, dari sudut orang yang lebih kepada tak main, cakap it doesn't hamper because the anime it doesn't really need some sort of a big exposition to kind of tell you what's the setup, what's going on and all that, because to a certain extent it's a very popular genre. We have seen movies within the same pond lah, macam ni banyak kali lah. So we don't need the exposition from the game ke apa benda untuk faham and appreciate what's going on. It's a dystopian future. Big corporations rule the roost. Cybernetic lah, yang tu tak payah cerita dalam Star Wars, Blade Runner semua pun ada. So you can enjoy the ride without exactly playing the game. However, from a perspective of orang yang sentuh juga the game tu kejap, I believe that if you actually were really invested in the game and you played on PC or PS5 and it was a good experience for you, this anime is gonna like take it up to 11 lah, definitely lah. Pasal even aku yang sentuh sikit from the free demo tu, bila aku tengok macam actually Night City is gorgeous lah, whatever version kau main pun memang cantik lah Night City. So bila kau tengok it's actually bustling with life in the anime, and then kau tengok the Mantis punya blade-nya attachments, oh ni ada dalam game, and then the music where Lucy was at the moon at the end pun was in the game. And then macam and then tempat yang dia kena ambush kat desert pun bila aku dah explore the parameters, the limits of the city pun sampai situ pun semua kan. So macam this was from the game. And then what I was left feeling with is not a question of whether penting main the game and or whether the game enhances the anime ke tak. I'm just thinking rasa sayang pula if only they didn't fuck up the launch.
Exactly.
If people enjoy this anime now, it would have become next level shit if they did not fuck up the launch. So seriously, but instead, all's well that ends well. It seems like the anime is gonna then carry the attention traffic back to the game, but then it's in the hands of CD Projekt Red to not fuck it up.
To make it better.
But having said that, aku cakap even though that's a funny thing about the game, because there's of course many criticism about the game. Tapi macam Andri cakap tadi lah, bila kau main, it's actually enjoyable. But they just because of all that bugs and all these compatibility issues and all the unfulfilled promises, tu yang buat orang macam pissed off tu. But it's actually a good game, which is why I have hope for it. I am aiming to get a PS5, insyaAllah, hopefully. After a lot of things nak settle dulu. But I'm willing to give the game another chance, and the anime just proves it for me, So it's funny because although the question is how does the game actually impact the viewing experience of the anime? Eventually we come to the conclusion, actually the anime is going to make me give the game another chance. So
I'm going to ask a noob question as somebody obviously who's never played the game. So it's not buggy on the PS5 or the PC, is it?
It used to be.
It used to be, but with the updates, with the hot fixes and the big.
So untuk PS4 je yang dia tak bagi any update yang sorted.
The PS4 they kept quiet. And
okay.
And they did address two things that what the most people want to play with the game. They wanted smarter NPCs, smarter enemies, and kalau boleh kan buat macam GTA kan third party punya view tau, instead of first person.
Sorry, Mudi, if you wanted to say something else.
No, because I don't know, because aku pun dah lama macam dah give up and tak follow news on the game. But when I was last following news about the game, cakap pasal PS4, I don't think it's even on sale at PS4 anymore. I think Sony just like because ni a bit of a juicy punya story lah. Correct me if I'm wrong, or if this news is outdated lah, sebab ni last aku dengar. Pasal apparently CD Projekt Red, they knew they fucked up with the launch. So it didn't took long for them to apologize and make promises of amendments and counter actions and all that. But one of the things that they said was that, you know what, everyone like who purchased a game on PS4 macam boleh dapat refund lah and everything. So let me tell you, that pissed off Sony big time, because they don't do refunds. So you can like fix the game or yada whatever, but then without discussing, CD Projekt Red just went like we'll can refund the game and everything. And then Sony said, how about like I do you one better, just took the whole fucking thing out of the PS Store. So, and that was the first time a game has literally, but the plug has been pulled on the console on PS4 lah. So that's why I believe when discussing Cyberpunk and PS4, it's not even a matter of whatever the updates they're giving anymore, because it's just not compatible, and new players memang tak boleh beli. Yeah, so basically it's a dead end lah when you talk about Cyberpunk and PS4. But if you really want to give it a go, then maybe give PS5 and PC a chance. So itulah. Tapi just since we're talking about the game, aku just nak add one thing. Aku punya hype about the Cyberpunk ni, about the IP, actually started from The Witcher. Aku rasa ramai orang pun tahu juga benda ni, because this game was hinted from The Witcher lagi. Kau tahu kan?
Yeah, because CDPR buat The Witcher kan? They made The Witcher, right?
Yeah, because in The Witcher, the daughter of like Geralt or Siri, she has the ability to teleport between dimensions. So she was running away from the big bad, which is the Wild Hunt. So she's been like teleporting non-stop between worlds. So eventually when we caught up to her, they cakap she went to a world where people had metal in their heads and everyone owned a personal flying ship, something macam tu lah. So orang macam, dia cakap apa ni? So eventually
we got some comments in chat from Aruna Sena. David's crew is incorporated in patch 1.6 Cyberpunk 2077. There's a mini side quest for you to get David's jacket. I think I saw this somewhere online as well, on Twitter. Actually, the game's much better running on the latest patch 1.6, especially on the PC. And then ada beberapa chat daripada chat 69 XYZ best adult kata nak bloody hell.
Tapi kan, one last thing lah yang aku nak compare,
go ahead.
Because we talk about how the game and the anime like works in symbiosis with each other kan. Kenapa aku nak compare pasal the good thing about this anime is that it can be a standalone. You can know nothing about the game and it'll still be fun. It'll still be top tier entertainment lah. As opposed to the equally ambitious Final Fantasy 15. If if to be fair, if you want to talk about disaster, that was an ambitious disaster. Because the thing, how they set it up is that if you play the game without watching the animes, the spin-offs, and the animated movie Kingsglaive, you play the game, you don't know what the hell is going on. Kenapa dia ni mati? Kenapa dia ni tak ada? Kenapa dia ni jadi monster? What the hell is going on? But then if you just watch the movie and the anime, and like, why is this guy angry? Why is he important? What's going on with her? Why is she like talking to us like this? Macam dia dia ambil one thing and just like split it up into separate media. So
didn't Square Enix like announce to the punters that to play this you need to know all this then, or they just
but that's the problem. Because to begin with, your game was also not complete. So when you're, because you are a video game making company, if you want to do all this movie, anime, that should be the attachment or the extra to the already completed product, your main product, which is the game. But the game is like when it needs a crutch from other medias, I don't think that's a smart way to go, because it just made people pissed off in there. But then on the other hand, I'm looking at Cyberpunk. I'm like, this actually, because they are two entities that stand on their own in the game, then they actually act in symbiosis with each other instead of having to rely on each other like a crutch. So this is an ambitious game done right. They fucked up the launch, but we'll see how they take it from here. But Final Fantasy 15, that was a disaster.
Not the way to go about it.
Game. Yeah.
Okay. I think I want to... Okay, sir. Sekejap ya. Aku lepas ni nak go on to the next segment where we shall now start talking about the franchise. But by all means, if anybody has any last words on the game and the anime in relation, by all means go ahead.
Just nak summarizekan Munif punya komen tu. Dia macam kau ambil mushroom soup, lepas tu kat sebelah tu ada garlic bread. The garlic bread is supposed to make the mushroom soup good, but your mushroom soup alone should be able to stand on itself.
Yes.
Masalahnya Final Fantasy the game,
betul,
dia punya mushroom soup tak sedap. So garlic bread kau sedap mana pun
doesn't make a difference.
Ada telur sikit lah.
Okay then.
Sorry lah. Sekarang jiran aku tengah masak mushroom soup.
Boleh bau.
Boleh bau je, stress tu.
Anyway, okay, we've got a few comments just now that we went through. So sekarang, now let's get on to business ke segmen seterusnya. Segmen seterusnya adalah Arasaka Academy PRA-MAINE. So what I've done is basically I've divided, well, you can't divide it 10 into 3 parts, can you? Or even 4. So we're going to talk about episodes 1, 2 and 3. So di segmen ini kita akan melihat David dan kehidupan bersama ibunya Gloria, suasana persekolahan di Arasaka Academy, kemalangan yang meragut nyawa ibunya, pemasangan implan Sandervis dan pengenalan David kepada Lucy dan kebudaannya Main. Anyway, so before I go on, just kepada penonton yang dah biasa dengan BuzzPop session dengan whether it may be anime or not, we usually have questions for each panelist, especially when it's an episode yang macam ongoing series where we are waiting for the next episode, then we can like have a guess or what's going to happen next, blah blah blah. Sekarang series ni dah habis. So nak tanya apakah pendapat anda tentang whatever it is, kind of sounds so fake. I mean, some of my questions are going to sound fake anyway. So we'll just go on with it. It's going to be free for all, but I will moderate it. So I'm going to start by Shaz, since you are on screen at the moment. Apakah pandangan anda tentang social structure Bandaraya Night City yang didiami David dan watak-watak yang akan diperkenalkan sepanjang siri ini? So silakan. Okay, dia punya social structure if you think the current social structure kat dunia sekarang ni, di mana orang miskin ditolak ke bawah and only the high ups are the ones who make a lot of money,
You bayangkan that kind of scenario, you darab 10. That means yang betul-betul miskin ni kan, dia akan miskin forever lah. Kalau kita tengok aku remember one part dalam David punya trip, every time dia nak pergi sekolah kan, dia selalu tengok ada seorang tu dia pakai pampers je, lepas tu dia ada satu mesin kat tempat yang spesifik tu every single time. Tu dia pakai VR set dekat public je, dia rembat je benda tu. Dia tak boleh. Kenapa dapat? It was so like, oh okay, so this is a mature punya anime lah. Ini bukan anime lawak lah.
But that's not the point. That's also the point that people are depraved and that's how they get off.
Yes.
In this
okay,
day.
tapi here's the thing.
Anyway.
That is actually one of the, kalau kita lah, dia similar to kita tengok video-video yang kita download online. So that is the cheapest thing that they can afford. Dah tak mampu nak entertain secara lain, dia just download benda tu and that's it. Dia tak ada pergi, contoh kalau kita compare dengan orang in the night city kan, the rich people they have parties, dia orang pergi ada mansion besar-besar kan.
I can point.
Bagus. So
that's the thing.
The actual journey from daripada David from rumah dia, which is rumah yang actually they cannot really afford based on the family punya income, but they try anyway because that is one of the best and only locations they could get. And then journey kepada sekolah dia tu, which is actually a sekolah for the elite staff, Arasaka Academy. Dia orang ni macam kalau you dah, kerana kita ada B40, kita ada B M20 ke M40 ya? M40, T20 kan. So the Arasaka Academy is the T20 punya academy. Dia private school, private habis-habisan. Kalau you mampu bayar, you boleh join. So you imagine orang yang tak mampu nak bayar sewa. Ini orang yang bukan ada, orang yang ada rumah tau, dia tak ada rumah ni, dia ada sewa, dia kena bayar sewa. Struggle gila-gila, buat kerja macam-macam, which the EDGERUNNER punya team dapat berkenalan dengan dia dan jumpa sambil distance. But anyway, the corpus, the academy was a way untuk David leave poverty. Macam kita kan kat sini kan, kalau siapa ingat, kalau siapa yang dah tua-tua macam kita ni kan, masa 1990s, early 2000 kan, dia ada the great push untuk everybody kena ada degree. Masa tu kita semua macam what is a degree kan, SPM everything. That was the promise to become to break out of poverty. Cuma masalahnya sekarang dah jadi ramai orang yang ada degree, so it becomes too common pula. Now you can aim for masters or you can aim for PhD and so on. But regardless, dalam Night City ni, that was the truth. It was a guaranteed form of success because kalau you graduate daripada Arasaka Academy, you be able to join the Arasaka Corporation. And the corporation, gaji best. Especially Arasaka is one of the top, if not the top 3, top 5 lah dalam the game. They ada mention they have other rivals. In fact, they want to clash dengan rival lain inside the anime. But that's the thing lah, it really showed the social caste of people. Daripada kalau you miskin habis-habisan. But if you have a chance to masuk the academy, you have a chance to break free. Cuma masalahnya David was not meant to be lah untuk jadi korpo because as we saw the whole story, dia ada yang berbeza.
Yeah, I have an opinion that what we see in this story is that it's either an extrapolation or a slight exaggeration, or in fact just what our world is like right now. I mean, we have families yang tak ada duit, hantar anak ke SIRI. I'm not going to mention school's name. You know, because they want the future for the kids to be better and blah blah blah. And as you rightly say, degree kena buat, and then bila dah degree pun tak cukup pasal there's too many of it. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I mean, I'm the child of the 70s, and the reason that we were told to do sciences is because the country was at an infancy in which we needed to fight, not get to a developed status quick, and therefore we needed doctors, engineers, you know, the professions of Asian parents yang nak sangat anak dia buat, because they don't want any musicians, they don't want artists, because we want our country to go laju naik atas kan. So, but I guess that's how it is lah, because bila dah
sorry.
And then I mean I'm just simplifying it a bit too much lah, because at the end of the day benda bila nak appreciate the arts semua ni semua all boils down to education. Because masalahnya dengan Asia pula, kita ni terlalu sampai sekarang pun, you know, I want you to be happy in life as long as you become a doctor. So bila kan orang cakap apa salah orang tak boleh, you know, we are in the business of reviewing pop culture, we are reviewing movies, we are reviewing TV, we are reviewing comics, and then we get pissed off and say asal orang tak appreciate dah. Because at the end of the day, people don't see literature as being important still, unfortunately, and it all boils down to education. But I'm just ranting at the moment. But I guess my next question is somewhat related to this. Alah, my iPad pula buat hal. David, sorry, actually I'm not going to do the next question. I'm just going to ask Munif actually. Have you got anything that you want to add to what Shaz had said regarding to social strata and how life is like in Night City among the denizens?
Let me start off with this lah. For any piece of entertainment, no matter how far-fetched the concept or the setting of the world is, you need a certain amount of texture to it, so to speak. Yeah, like texture lah. When it's rooted to something in real life, that's how you can relate to it more. So even if it's some really fantastical concept, you can feel it so close to home, and that's why the happenings in the show becomes very dear or relevant to you lah, which I think the anime does really well. Because I agree with your point lah, Kudo, that it's actually, I like to say that it's actually a mockumentary of sorts of real life.
And
especially for Asian modern Asian societies, you know, because a bit of a personal story. I love to draw since I was a kid. I wanted to be a comic artist, but the family was like, "You like to draw? What professional courses involves drawing? Architect. That's it." So, you know, so I had dreams of like working at like, you know, Marvel Studios or something, drawing comic covers and stuff, and like, but now you're like 9 to 5, even on the weekends, making buildings.
Drawing toilets,
they kind of like part of the machine and all that, right? So that's it. The funny thing, why this show is so impactful is that like the scenes where he has his back and forth with his mom, right? I literally went through those. And like suddenly, why is a movie about cyborgs with like mantis metal arms and these weird ass cities and going to the moons and everything? This kind of show, suddenly there's a reflection of these really intimate personal conversations I've had with my mom, and I see it in the show, you know. So that's why I guess what I want to say is like kudos to the creators of Cyberpunk, because they really give a damn about the world building, and they understand when you give something texture, whatever the fantastical concept you want to do, it'll become relatable, and people will appreciate that lah. Because because it's very, very texturized, and it's not just in the anime. You can tell that the world building is supported in the game too, because in the game you can actually choose your starting point from which class of society, you know.
Yeah, I think Shaz mentioned.
You can even start off as a corpo, as all these like guys in the slum.
Wastelander,
Good. So you see that from the game and the animated series, a huge part of the charm is the world building, because you could say Night City is a character on its own. It's not just a setting, it's also the character that contributes to the show. Much like how Mordor is a character for Lord of the Rings, not just a setting. So they got their priorities right. They texturized this high sci-fi concept with aspects of reality. So the world building is really great lah. And like whether you realize it or not, it's actually a big part of why a lot of people really like this anime, whether they played the game or not. Yeah.
Itulah, exactly.
I'd like to add a few more things.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the setting for the whole social structure of this world of Night City, right, it's pretty much accurate to reality now. The Arasaka group, the Militech Corporation, they're basically the golongan kayangan in that world now.
Yep.
Yeah. And people are judged by their economical status based on their jobs. And they are prioritized through their insurance now. That sounds a lot like how people in the US are being categorized now, but to their credit score and of course your healthcare package lah. I mean, everything here is actually on point. If we're not there, we're heading towards city in time.
Bloody scary, man.
And it shows kan, in order for anyone to survive, right, we have to make compromise and abandon our morals now to survive. Not because it is convenient, because it is necessary now. You see how Gloria Martinez kan, she's a ER.
Exactly.
She's a ER staff for Arasaka. But what she did on the side, she removes cybernetic implants, sell it to the black market. She sell it to men.
Actually, what I wanted to say just now was bukan pasal tu, because when she died, when she was injured and she got treated, you can see what level of coverage she had. She had some shitty hospital where the surgeon looked like a freaking butcher, tak pakai baju, pakai apron je. Okay. So obviously itu level of care yang bronze level good instead of Seri Cempaka level. Oh, did I say something?
He said the operation went well. She'll be recovering, and then the next day, she's dead because the parts broke down. I'm like, wow. What's going on? This is like about 180 in 24 hours.
You wanna join us? You know what the code is. You know what the code is. You can join us, Nick. Jom lah. Come on, Nick. We'll have five of us. Come. Anyway, so because
nak tambah dekat yang the insurance itu. In the game, I'm not sure. I can't recall whether you can get in the PC or the RPG. I don't think you can get access kepada the highest level of insurance. But in the Night City punya world, the highest level of insurance, kalau you tengok, dia orang datang dengan dia punya med evac vehicle, dengan weapons and everything. They have the highest tier. They can bring weapons to even fight the police. That is how much they have to pay the premium. But because they pay the premium, dia orang ada macam embed tracker sikit dengan live monitor. Kalau you kaput semua pun, you panic pun, some of it you might trigger the med evac punya rescue. That's why bila the med evac punya team datang kan, aku pun tak ingat the proper name. Tengok Mak Martinez kan, she's not covered by the insurance, so dia macam like biarkan dia, bye because they're not under coverage. That's why they save orang kaya tu je.
Tapi itulah. I mean, I got another question actually, but I'm gonna drag Andri back.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm asking this. Anyway, David kelihatan mempunyai kebolehan mengendali dan mempunyai daya ketahanan yang agak baik apabila menggunakan implan Sandevistan yang dipasang Ripperdoc. So, adakah ini satu genetic fluke, coincidence that he has a good immune system, daya ketahanan semula jadi yang baik, Atau adakah David seseorang individu yang sebelum ini lagi sudah mendapat perhatian Arasaka? Because as I understand it, Arasaka got whiff of him from the CCTV when he punched Tanaka's kid in the classroom, isn't it? And they saw his back.
Yeah.
They could see his stance. Anyway, go ahead and have a stab at answering this question, which I'm not even sure where I'm coming from. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, this thing wasn't elaborated in the game or even the anime itself, which is why I said they could have spent more time explaining and expanding the thing. But from my understanding, and some people can have better tolerance, better compatibility with the cybernetic implants lah. David is one of those rare ones who can actually adapt better than normal people lah. Because most of the machines kan, when you pakai kan, you need to take macam pills to cope with the pain and the function.
Immunosuppressants.
Apa?
Yeah, I will explain later. I will explain later. Anyway, go ahead.
This was actually hinted in the game. Some people can take cybernetic implants, certain cybernetic implants. I have no problem, but some of them can. You see, Cyberpunk is inspired a lot by Ghost in the Shell. Whether you want to agree with me or not, Ghost in the Shell they have this thing called every machine has a spirit
Yeah, okay?
The ghost. So the more you get engaged with the machine whether it's net diving or putting more stuff into your body, right? You became more machine than human so your consciousness is being changed so a lot of times they went macam like what you call it, cyber psychosis. That was the term they use it in this story. It's not actually an original concept. Remember Dr. Octopus from Marvel?
Yeah.
Kan dia ada macam those octopus arms kan. In the movie he was talking to them because it was like they were alive and they were sharing the same consciousness. We're now one. Listen to me. Want talking to you. Let's do this and shit. Become much more aggressive. Same thing here. You are not actually a human anymore. You're an enhanced human with enhanced upper responsibilities, enhanced perception. So the term ghost in the shell, ghost in the machine, plays a part in this whole universe some people can suppress it, like David. It's not because he's stronger physically, it's because he can tolerate more pain. Maybe it's because he's been bullied all his life because he's a poor guy. Main probably is physically strong, but no one actually grabs something and bully him now, so he doesn't have that mental fortitude. So he keep hearing these things about the machines nagging him. So that's what I think. It is basically mostly it's partially physical condition. It's also mental strength. I think that's what affects the implants for anyone who's getting involved with that.
Okay, I'm just going to add something. I'm going to add something from due to what I do in my day job. What immunosuppressants do. Basically, the human body mounts an immune reaction to anything foreign. Kau kena penampar, muka kau merah, kau kena paku muka kan, everything, your body will react with inflammatory reaction. So people who get transplantations, may it be organs, may it be artificial parts,
they have to take pills.
They have to take pills called immunosuppressants. So what the pills do, they suppress your immune system so that it will not mount a reaction to reject your transplant. Kan? Kau penat-penat tunggu liver transplant, kau tak makan ubat, body kau reject, organ yang transplant tu mati. Buang masa je. Orang tu derma kat kau, dia dah betul kau, that's the point of it. So I guess bukanlah nak extrapolate, but I'm not sure whether macam orang tua dapat hip replacement, whether they are on I've been out of that bit specialty for a long time, but if like you correctly say, the more metal bits you have in you, the more immunosuppression you need. But I mean, there'll be some angles of this which I'm gonna ask you guys later on in the next segment. But if anybody has any other points like to raise with regards to this, okay, go ahead, Syaz.
Aku kena kopi sengit sikit. First kali aku pening dia punya immunosuppressant punya representation, because the way dia buat, I don't think that's how immunosuppressants work in real life. Your body tak boleh nak metabolize that fast kan?
What do you mean?
Okay, contohnya kalau kita ambil Red Bull or kita ambil Monster Energy drink, kita terus macam like, wow, terus bangun kan?
That's not how the immune system works. The immune system okay.
So the immunosuppressants that was represented in the anime, it works too fast. You know what?
You have to bear in mind this is the future though.
Yeah.
You have to bear in mind this is the future though.
Future.
Boleh lah. Kalau kita we go by that ni kita boleh
and there are immunosuppressants that work fast. I mean I've been out of treating human beings for a longest time, but you start immunosuppressant, you don't see it taking effect in a month's time. It will work straight away. Anyway, go ahead. I mean, the thing is, for example, just a quick one. I'm not trying to macam show off knowledge ke apa, tapi macam cancer can now be treated using immunosuppressants. I mean, not now. It's been treated for immunosuppressants because macam cancer. So that to prevent the drugs or whatever yang affecting the cancer to be affected by our immune system anyway. But that's
kalau macam tu aku boleh pusing kopi ke depan balik. Since dah ada clarification. But one of the reasons why David ni can use so much cyberware is there's a few factor lah. Satu, of course, the chosen one. So itu tak boleh buat apa. But dalam the RPG itself, they have something of a humanity score. Because the more human your life is before you started wearing cyber punya equipment, the more likely you are able to tolerate. Sebab kalau katakan kita dalam hidup kita, parents tak ada bergaduh, makan cukup, bermas besar selesa, di sekolah tak ada orang bully, masuk college dapat kawan ramai, girlfriend semua kahwin umur 24 tahun, you be like well in humanity punya scope, that kalau katakan you move into Cyberpunk 2077 punya ni, you should be able to receive a lot of cyberware lah. That's why kalau kita tengok some of the more cyber that you carry on yourself, the less human you become, because you are moving closer towards the machine. Dalam game tak silap aku, Andri, they have a limit, right? How many cyber parts you can wear kan? Dia ada humanity score kan? There you go. Yep. So it's represented by a specific number in the game, but dalam the in-universe, it is your personal life experience, how well you're able to adapt kepada benda tu, you know, and of course your body punya immunity rejection lah. That's why kalau you tengok dalam group yang dia orang lawan kena tembak mati banyak-banyak tu, yang muka dia dah macam robot,
yang mata banyak tu, god,
mata banyak, aku dah faction nama tu,
but I know lah, in the middle,
that faction, kalau you tengok they have a lot of cyberware, macam mata ganti, mulut pun ganti. They have lost a lot of their humanity. And then the best example is Adam Smasher lah. He's like what, 80%, 90% cyberware. He doesn't even feel human. Dia macam cara dia cakap, cara dia fikir macam like, I'm here to do my mission.
Okay, Adam Smasher, right? He's like David actually.
He's special, like kan?
He's special because he can take a lot of something implants because of his history now. He was a former soldier. He was exposed to a lot of violence and warfare. He worked for the criminal organizations, the corpus, and he keep upgrading himself. Blah 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 blah. So if David join Arasaka, right, he'll be the second Adam Smasher.
Yeah.
Senang.
Probably lah. Dia akan jadi Adam Smasher punya.
Itulah, I mean that's why Tanaka nak bagi dia scholarship bagai, dia nak jadi lab rat je pun, because they found
aku rasa initially dia tak sangkakan siapa nama David had a high tolerance towards cyber. But when they saw him move as fast as he could on camera, that is the Sandy Viston punya speed. They're like, that is a military grade punya cyber tu.
And this a budak mana lah semua bagai.
Kau punya kungfu tu pergi belah, mati macam tu je.
That was the Jojo moment. Menang. Orang.
Nampak sangat je reference kan.
Munir pada editing tu kan?
Okay, when talking about pasal, I actually like this whole tolerance issue with the cyber implants punya narrative in the show lah, pasal it adds a complexity to the very OP power yang dia ada lah kan. So and that makes it interesting lah. With great power comes great setbacks kan. Okay, so my take on it though, because going with the depressing theme of the anime, aku rasa okay, at one point maybe he really is special, but there's also, I think that's a whole subplot on its own lah. Pasal is he really special, or is he, because as we saw in the end he like fucked himself regardless kan. So was he really that special all along? It really seemed that he went to ruins lagi cepat than Main and all the other guys who've been working and using this
or probably slightly slower,
so macam my take was that the theme actually for this particular subplot about his resistance to the cyber implants is that it talks about the mundaneness and the banality of life, like how we are creatures of society, but every single one of us individuals overrate our existence. So he's just a dumb, depressed, sad teenager, but he keeps almost like reassuring himself. He says many times, I'm special, almost to the point of desperation. So what I took from that is that at the end of the day, this is Night City, someone had aspirations and dreams, is just suddenly roadkill over there. You're no different. You're not special in the end. So, but there's also evidence to say that maybe he actually is, but then maybe it's actually not. But that's what makes it interesting. Like pasal ketahanan towards the cyber implants when it's his own dilemma-laced subplot on its own. So my take on it was that I think at the end of the day, he wasn't special. It's just that because of his will, his determination, and all the human side of him yang membuatkan dia nampak macam he actually tengah bertahan lah for that long. If you see when inside his apartment with Lucy macam tak tahu, dia tak cakap kan, dia tengok TV, time has been jumping around lah. So actually how long has he been having the psychosis already tau. Tapi orang tengok memang dia ni tahan lah pakai Sandivistan ni, tak sakit pun tak ni, padahal dia duduk sorok kan the symptoms. So itulah the banality of life. I think that was one of the theme for this subplot.
It's pretty nice that all three of you has pretty much answered question 4 in such a way, because it's going to build up to what I have next. So dengan itu, mari kita pergi ke segmen seterusnya. Right. Now, deep in the midst of things now. So sekarang kita berada di segmen yang merangkumi episod 4, 5 dan 6. Okay, so he's in the midst of all this stuff. Diterima sebagai ahli kumpulan. He's part of Maine's crew now. Di waktu ini, David menghadapi pelbagai cabaran, baik daripada latihan untuk bersama dengan kru Maine dan undergoing missions yang diterima Maine daripada dia punya fixer, sehingga ke memahami perasaan hatinya terhadap Lucy. But anyway, we'll go to question 5, and since you are on the screen now, di segmen ini kita diperkenalkan dengan konsep cyber psychosis. So this is leading on from what we've been talking about, immune suppressants, blah blah blah, cyber psychosis, yang malangnya mengambil nyawa Pilar, abang kepada Rebecca. Obviously they met somebody who's having a bomb having a piece in the middle of the lane and then happen to have cyber psychosis. Namun itu hanyalah permulaan kepada bagaimana cyber psychosis memberi kesan kepada David dan kumpulan Maine keseluruhannya. Pada pemahaman anda, apakah itu cyber psychosis? Dan adakah anda merasakan penggunaan implan di dunia ni sebenarnya satu ketagihan? Is it? I mean, like you just elaborated on how David was trying to fool himself. I'm the best. I'll be alright. I mean, that sounds like somebody who's addicted to drugs, in my opinion. But go ahead, silakan.
Okay. So on the cyber implants, or again, looking at it from macam mana from a real world punya perspective pun, I guess it is a lot like a drug, because at the same time it specifically why drugs, because the word is that it's an escape. It's an escape from your perceived helplessness in life, kan. Macam kau study pun hancur, your mom died, you're living in the shitters, you have no money, everything you do turns out wrong. When you try, turns out wrong. When you don't try, turns out wrong. And then suddenly, hey, you know what? Aku cucuk satu benda ni, I'm fucking Superman. You know. So, kan? So macam if putting that into context, like even us are like every day stuck in a 4-hour traffic jam, pergi balik from work, and then mendaring at the office, looking at the screen for like how many hours, coming back, and then just getting paid peanuts, you know. Then suddenly, hey, if you like attach this one thing to your shoulder, maybe you can like deadlift a truck. And like, yeah, give me some of that, you know, because fuck this shit. So to a certain extent, I understand. I understand why it can become addictive, even though maybe even if it's not medical, like an actual drug, psychologically also. Because it's such in a depressing, mundane setting. So you just want to get out of here. If you can suddenly Superman yourself, then that is an escape. So psychologically, it can turn addictive to you lah. And I also like actually Andre's explanation just now, which I agree with lah, about the ghost in the shell lah. Pasal, but as we know, they keep replacing parts of them with machine. Because when I was watching the anime, I'm thinking, actually, like what part of you is still like human? No?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like that guy who was basically like, he even like got his dick changed, you know. So good. Yeah. So what part of you is still there, and because of those changes, and all these parts, these cybernetic parts, they have their function, and macam they're very advanced into the future. So it's not too far-fetched to assume each of these parts has the certain level of automated programming or AI to run those parts again. So technically, you are with every part you insert, you are inserting an invasive mind into your psyche. So at the end of the day, I think this psychosis is a result of those artificial minds sharing the network of the psyche with you, and then in the end, as the biological parts become lesser than the mechanical parts, the psyche will reflect the same. So if you are more toaster than a person but can still function as a person somewhat, then you become like all kinds of bonkers. So it's like putting consciousness into a washing machine. So what happens? So dia memang jadi pelik. So I think the psychosis is directly because of that, the slowly replacement of your psyche with an artificial mind. So you're still thinking, you're still functioning, but you're not all there, because the mind is the mind. But when you replace it with AI, you're also replacing the soul. Now the soul is something that AI cannot replicate. So I think that's why they end up the way they end up.
I mean, I'm just going to add one small point, and baru je tadi rebuff Shaz's point about this is the future, but the fact that they did a lung transplant without anesthetic, you know, he just gritted his teeth on fucking besi. Lung transplant, bukan je ganti jari. Gila apa? But after that, he can jog faster with Lucy. Anyway, Shaz, have you got anything to add about what I asked?
Aku cakap pasal everything pun boleh. Okay. So what are the important things yang kita kena remember about cyberware? Dia macam-macam jenis tau. Not just the scientific, dia bukan saja combat, augmentation. Dia kadang-kadang just a simple benda kat mata, dia record conversation untuk reporters, untuk orang yang buat lagu contohnya, dia mungkin ada simple ear jack kat sini, then dia tengah humming, best lah benda ni, ambil port tu, dia record masuk komputer. So it depends on how much and how complex the cyber
you want it to be. Yeah.
In fact, dalam the game, I do not know if they sebab I tak main the game, I tak tahu whether you get to meet the character or not. One of the characters that they promote was an artist whose gimmick was that she was 100% zero cyberware. And this was like, medically proven 2-3 times, kena audit and whatnot, check semua benda 100% natural. So everybody was like, wow! So I tak tahu lah. Because it's so rare. The fact that she can live on her talents alone without any cyber equipment made her special lah. So the point kat sini is, the cyber equipment can just be as simple as a knee transplant. Lutut kau, terpatah, kekok ke apa ke. Lepas tu dia letak kat situ, bagi straight balik. But at the same time, it makes you boleh tahan impact stronger when you fall. It's simple as that. And that simple transplant alone boleh make you become cyber psychosis, because it depends on you punya tolerance, how your body react to the cyberware. And kita jangan lupa, cyberware kat sana pun ada macam kereta juga. Ada yang kecil, ada yang Myvi, ada yang Porsche.
Dia cikai mah.
Dia ada grade-grade dia. And then kita ada the military grade punya level. So, what is the whole point of all this? The level of all that cyberware, the amount you pakai, the quality of the cyberware, kita jangan lupa dia akan integrate with the person itself. Dengan dia punya nervous system, dengan dia punya muscles, dengan dia tissue and all that. Sandevistan tu straight pasang kepada dia punya backbone kot. So it proves how fast a person can perceive time. Kalau siapa yang biasa main game rhythm games, shooter games, shoot 'em up semua ni kan, cuba you all try to imagine bila you main 2, 3, 4 different games kan, ada setengah game tu you main, apa pasal dia punya bullet slow, and your member sebelah, weh apa pasal bullet ni laju gila weh, aku tak boleh nampak bullet ni. That is because you dah boleh adapt to that level of bullet punya speed. And then bila you tukar game lain pula, you pula rasa, apa pasal game ni macam laju gila bullet dia kan, betul ke setting ni. So that's part of how the Sandevistan affects kita punya perception. So kalau your body and your mind tak boleh tolerate that kind of change, and you tak biasa benda tu, the impact will be very negative lah. Because dia mengubah the natural state of a person. Tiba-tiba you dalam your memory, you can remember, oh kita boleh lompat macam lompat at most paling tinggi pun just a few 2-3 kaki kan. Tiba-tiba you pakai bionic leg, you boleh lompat sampai atas 2 stories punya building. So that is something you kena get used to. Kalau you tak boleh nak fully change your mind, then dia akan impact you punya psyche lah. You akan jadi macam like, this is not normal. Bila benda tu you dah start fikir it's not normal, mulalah dia akan duk fikir-fikir macam, oh tapi patutnya human macam ni, why am I able to do this? And one more important part is, bila body kita dah terlampau biasa dengan all that equipment, tapi equipment tu makin lama makin makin lama dia akan over time dia akan degrade daripada usage semua tu. And then kalau katakan dia ada dia punya own software and what not, and you do not reset and everything, dia punya code and everything, nanti dia akan jadi problematik lah. Sebab benda yang sepatutnya macam alignment kereta, sepatutnya dia pergi straight saja, tapi kalau alignment dia lari sikit, dia mulalah every time you nak kena readjust balik. So all that kind of thing is important lah to prevent cyber psychosis from happening. Sebab there is just too many factors in using all these bionics. Dia bukan macam implant kita sekarang tau. Implant kita letak besi kaki kan, tapi dia orang tak ada AI, tak ada cybernetics, tak ada apa, tak ada enhancement. Dia je letak tulang macam besi je kan. That's why it's a very, the whole concept of cyber psychosis was a very good gameplay mechanic designed way back when the RPG first came out. So itulah, I think is something which hopefully kita tak akan kena, but I don't think kita akan sempat hidup long enough lah untuk tengok cyberware macam ni lah.
Andre, have you got any thoughts?
Yeah. I think part of the reason kan that affects by cyberpsychosis kan is the body's compatibility with the cybernetic implants tau. You remember why main when cyberpsychosis, the cause kan was dia punya gun arm now kan. He said dia punya implants kan making him feel this way tau. And remember David kan, he assimilated well with the Sadarvistan punya implant, even though it's a military equipment tau. Because he's compatible that. I suspect kan, the cybernetic arms kan yang main pakai and then David ambil later on kan, it's basically same military equipment, tapi it's not compatible for public tau. Maybe it's for soldiers kan yang nak kata apa, either dah betul-betul gila atau dah brain dead tau. You know, people who has no individuality. Yeah. It's most compatible with them. People who has a consciousness, who has a social life, they will suffer from cyberpsychosis tau. So remember David had all these symptoms when he pakai those cybernetic arms, and then he continued to put in a lot more cybernetics tau. First the arms, and then the torso, and then you see dia punya muka kan ada macam dah new advancement kan, and then the legs because he had to carry all this weight lah. All this kan, he did this kan without healthcare specialist advising him tau. So he doesn't know if this is compatible or not compatible. And he took main punya cybernetic implants kan, yang tangan tu kan, it's not because he thinks he's compatible, because he admires main and he wants a part of him kan to live through him tau.
Legacy.
Sentimentality, not compatibility. If he had a doctor kan kata, oh you can take this man, this is a curse item tau, it's going to fuck you up down the road tau, he probably will take it. And all the implants kan yang dia pasang kan, dia pasang ikut hantam krono suka hati dia tau. So he would suffer cyberpsychosis kan a lot faster than main. Yeah, because he keeps adding more stuff because he wants to have a connection with main even though he's dead. So compatibility goes out the window. His fall through cyberpsychosis is hidden lah basically. That's my take lah.
Kita jangan lupa those equipments were actually beginning to become faulty masa main pakai.
Betul.
He was already like macam like tak boleh nak control ke apa ke.
Yeah, even main
virus
katakan, even main katakan, I'm sure you have there are better hands for you to pick. Kita know I want yours. Okay lah, kita use your funeral. That was his own words main kata. He knows deal.
I've got a question whether or not this is relevant or not. Earlier on in the series, we see David's got this jittery leg. Was this ever explained in the anime later on? I can't remember them explaining it, or whether memang it's just a little tick that he has. Anybody knows? Kaki dia, kan kaki sebelah dia macam rabbit. Pasal tak? They had a camera on his right foot. Tunjuk kaki dia.
Was he listening? Dia tengah dengar music ke?
No. He wasn't tapping to jazz or anything like that.
Maybe it's just a nervous reaction lah.
Maybe lah. That's my take on it juga lah. I thought he was just probably a quirk or nervous about something. Tak tahu lah. Some people just anxious by default.
Because at first I just thought it kind of like foreshadowed whether he's this special guy or whatever. But
dia scene kat mana yang tu?
Banyak episode 1 ada, episode 2 dia macam masa mula-mula mak dia hidup lagi, kaki dia dah macam tu dah. Tak tahu.
Then I think it's a coping mechanism lah, some sort of cover masa dia nervous lah.
Yeah, I mean I did actually go on the net but I couldn't find anything. Okay, I got next question actually, which is a very open-ended. What people might go, why are you asking this? It's obvious, but then again, I just wonder if there's anything more to it. Siapa Tanaka ni actually? I mean, what is it that Faraday wants from Tanaka? What is it that Militech want from inside Tanaka's head? Because he's got this thing called ice in his head. So is there anything special? Why him? Why not any other exec? Anybody wants to go?
Aku
okay, go ahead.
Dalam the net running punya world, ice is dia macam you have things which yang ni kita play from other net running games lah. Ice is dia punya defenses dalam all hardware, dalam dalam servers, dalam all these internet punya portions. It is active anti-hacker punya material. Dia programs yang dah install and dia akan actively tengok dia ada detection intrusion, dia akan pergi cari, dia akan attack. That is what the ICE is. So kalau you tengok we will be discussing about Lucy further kan, so nanti kita talk about Lucy. But basically ICE ni adalah macam kalau kita sekarang ni kita ada admin, live admin yang menjaga all the network semua ni. Dia tengok kenapa ada orang serobot kat sini, kenapa banyak sangat dekat website kita ni, too many hits and whatnot. So these are automated program yang akan attack, dia tak peduli. So in a world where the hackers can go into the system, the ICE will attack the people, and then kalau your avatar mati, it will impact
you mati.
You akan mati because you transport your data into the system and then they kill you off. So Tanaka dia tak brief who he is actually, but he is somebody who is very high up inside Arasaka because of the fact that dia boleh completely dictate kepada ketua akademi Arasaka tu kau buat macam ni. Literally dia just cakap daripada kena buang, dia remove dia punya kena buang, expunge dia punya record, bagi scholarship lagi. So he is a very high level executive, and the fact that kalau ada ice dalam kepala dia, that means dalam kepala dia there is his brain and memory is augmented. Dia dah ada cyberware dalam kepala dia to hold and protect important information. Macam kita kalau bawa corporate notebook and whatnot, paling busuk lah you have a password. So in this case, dia dah ada Arasaka level punya ICE, which is like top tier kan, because we are the best corporation punya mindset. So of course dia orang punya high level executives will have all this protection dalam kepala dia lah, which is what Lucy discovered masa dia jumpa. And the reason why the fixer wanted all that information is very simple. Information is something you can sell. Itu je.
But but so they've never exactly elaborated what it is that they want. So it's not.
They left it vague because that was not really the point of the ni lah. The invasion.
Because I was wondering whether it's related to what we're going to discuss in the next segment anyway. But because they tak explain kan, but then things went on to another way, and then okay, fair enough. Anybody else has any thoughts on what's what with this guy?
Nah, Shaz covered it.
Yeah, Munif.
Just maybe a question lah, sebab we also know yang they were mentioning in the show lah, I vaguely remember sebab binge watch banyak episod serentak kan, but I vaguely remember they were talking about one of the precious things is information from the old net or something.
Yeah.
That's to do with Lucy. That's to do with Lucy.
So I'm thinking maybe the ICE is protecting maybe parts of that information juga, or maybe just corporate secrets. Tak tahu.
Kita discuss next motion.
Okay. Nice one. We'll go to the next section. Okay, so segmen keempat, PASCA-MAINE. Obviously, I mean, it was so difficult to make questions, man, for this, because as much as I don't want to make it like a running commentary of a story which is people can watch it kan, I mean, you guys yang menonton sekarang, tolonglah tengok cerita ni, and I think what we're trying to cover are like the real salient points yang related. Kalau nak tahu siapa tembak siapa kena tembak di mana, semua tengok je lah cerita ni. So PASCA-MAINE, Fly Lucy to the Moon. So ni merangkumi 4 episod terakhir, 7, 8, 9 dan 10. So segmen ni bertempat beberapa bulan setelah kematian Main dan Doryo, sewaktu mereka cuba nak extract data from Tanaka. And David sekarang sudah menjadi ketua kumpulan yang dianggotai Kiwi, Falco dan Rebecca. Manakala Lucy meninggalkan kumpulan itu kan pretty much AWOL setelah insiden Tanaka tempoh hari. So I think I'm gonna start with Henry first. So di segmen ini kita akhirnya mempelajari latar belakang Lucy sebagai seorang netrunner yang diasuh Arasaka dari kecil. So sewaktu she's having her time out dari David and the old crew, Lucy kelihatan melenyapkan netrunner yang mencari maklumat tentang data yang hilang dari Tanaka. Pada pendapat anda, apakah Kiwi okay, but it's kind of like answer that, whether or not you have any views on that. And the additional question is, pada pendapat anda, mengapakah Kiwi berpaling tadah? Actually, you wanted to answer this just now. Mengapakah Kiwi berpaling tadah untuk bekerja untuk Faraday yang di waktu itu diupah Arasaka? Silakan.
Okay, a lot of people are going to hate me because they are blinded by the whole romance story between David dengan Lucy, and they say, "Oh, Kiwi is the traitor." Okay,
Kiwi
my thing
fancies
is
Lucy, is it?
Huh?
Kiwi fancies
No.
Lucy, is it?
Lucy tried to silence Kiwi first. She was the original traitor for the gang. Do you remember what happened after she and David kan became intimate? She dived a lot on her time nak check apa David, and she found out that David kan had caught Arasaka punya radar. They were interested in him. So she was silently not only covering her tracks because of her past, she was also trying to cover David's tracks as well, trying to erase his presence. But Arasaka noticed, and the gang tak notice until the fixer kan ask them to go ahead dengan Tanaka. Okay, Tanaka kan has information on David. He was the one who detected David apa yang kat sekolah tu kan, the video tu, because anak dia kena basah. Okay, a lot of people doesn't catch the hint. Do you remember what happened masa
Tanaka bangun sekejap cakap kat David tu, is it?
There's a lot of hints out. I think what happened was kan, she silently kan hack into Main punya inner AI tau, and cause the cyber psychosis attack kan, masa Kiwi kan dive for, nak check up on Tanaka. You remember? She was at the bathtub, tiba-tiba apa Main ngamuk.
And then Main belasah Kiwi, kepala had gone kan.
I believe she planned to get Kiwi killed because Kiwi was her friend, but she loved David. Okay? And she followed Kiwi's advice, don't trust anyone. Everyone kan is basically a loose end tau. Okay, so when Main went ngamuk, she thought that there's just going to be him and Kiwi je, so Kiwi is going to be dead. What she doesn't, because most of the time kan, orang yang selalu jaga Kiwi masa dia dive kan is Main dengan David, but David was not there and she knows because they were dating. What she didn't expect kan was Falco dengan Doryo was there to actually hold down Main, so Kiwi was out of action but she's not dead. Okay, and then what happened was kan, during the time when they actually captured Tanaka kan, and she was diving kan, guess who was going to trigger the location semua tu? Who triggers apa the psychosis apa kat Main? I believe it was Lucy tau. When they were escaping kan, her main priority kan is escaping with David tau, tapi David tak nak escape. And she let David go atas because she knows kan David can always cabut lari kan flash style because of the Sandoverstein punya implants. Okay, this is the part kan where a lot of people tak sedar kan that Lucy kan probably kan because of her love for David kan, she's going to tie up all the loose ends now. She's going to get everyone in that group killed. Rebecca, Kiwi, semua. And Kiwi probably knows this later on tau. Because she removed herself from the gang kan. Maybe out of guilt. But also because kan, she cannot do it a second time now. Because she's seen kan, first hand kan what happened. She saw how David was destroyed. You tengok at the end of episode 6, dia pegang tangan apa main kan macam he's gone. Part of him died with the episode. Yeah. So Kiwi kan being the one who actually mentored Lucy kan in the gang kan, the early days dengan Pillar kan. She must have thought kan, okay, this is not natural. There's too much things going on wrong. This group is compromised. I believe it's Lucy. She mentioned apa kat Lucy kan, don't trust anyone kan. And then she look at that outside. She probably knows Lucy is the person who tried to kill her a few times. So she balik tadah to the group and work for Faraday. That was my take on why this whole Netrunner betrayal thing kan started from Lucy instead of Kiwi tau. You can free to dispute lah.
I've no issues with your take because I think okay, go ahead. Anybody siapa yang ada any other views on this or
aku nak confirm balik timeline dia.
Okay.
Timeline, okay.
The part when Main became cyberpsychosis, was it before or after Lucy discovered what was hidden behind the eyes? Basically, that Tanaka had information on
okay. Main has symptoms of cyberpsychosis, macam stalling semua kan. But it was never violent. It was violent after she and David fucked. So they were emotionally involved and she knew David punya high profile target condition in Arasaka punya watchlist lah.
So that means Main went cyberpsychosis after the Tanaka event kan?
I think she did something to Main to actually make it a bit faster or worse because dia takut kan Main, Kiwi or even Rebecca and Pillar kan is going to sell information on David. You see, David is the only person kan she trusts completely tau. The only person she loves. Kiwi kan is basically her biggest threat tau because like her, she's a netrunner. She could have found this earlier. But for some reason, after Main's death, Kiwi who was net running the Arasaka network kan nak cari information kan. For some reason kan all the information yang they travelled earlier kan dah kena block. Cannot access anymore. The last person who did this was Lucy. She erased the trail. So there's a lot of things kan doesn't make sense. A lot of things yang macam why is like this? What is this?
Nak kena tengok balik ni. This is a unexpected theory ni.
Okay, I find the last 4 or 3 chapters, there were bits that became a bit convoluted. So whether or not it's got to do with I'm not trying to blame pacing or whatever, but you know, it was a time jump, isn't it? It was a few months after Main's death, and then obviously the Tanaka thing was still hanging because Faraday still wants something from that thing, and it's been months, and then he actually pulled David to one side. So you're now the head of the crew. So do you think you can do what Main would have done for us now or whatever? So yeah, I mean, she's been going around knocking off the wrong word. Take tembak, bunuh all these other netrunners which seem to be looking for similar information. So I have to admit, masa tu aku macam, what's that all about? So anybody got any take on that?
Aku rasa partly is what Andri has mentioned lah. Dia erasing the trails of David lah. But David is not a runner.
Yeah, I'm trying to be.
So whatever he does,
yeah, sorry.
there will be news. there were reports and whatnot on the net.
Okay.
So if you can trace the source of the information, you can start removing it.
Yeah, I'm going to use my simple kepala otak aku. I mean, I'm not doubting, I'm not rebutting what Andre's point tadi. Tapi the thing was, as far as I'm concerned, kalau kita ikut timeline, Arasaka got whiff of David as somebody who can withstand, you know, a military grade implant like the Sandevistan, and it's got them on the target, so he's got it in his brain. I mean, basically, any information data related to that is among the Arasaka's top execs. Because I just wondered, now this is kind of spilling already into the next question, but I'm going to spill it anyway lah. Because we know in the next few episodes, it's because they were going to go after a cyber skeleton. So I just wonder if the cyber skeleton project, I mean, I'm sure it's something that is not new. They've had it all this time. Did they target David from day one? He's going to be, because just now we were talking about he can be the next Adam Smasher, or two, you know, whether or not by making David a lab rat to see whether or not he can withstand the cyber skeleton, as to make Arasaka a second weapon or a better weapon than Adam Smasher. So for me, macam that information is really not of much of a mystery. Tapi macam as Faraday is working for Militech, macam at that time, apa misteri sangat kot, I guess. Do you think it has anything to do with the cyber skeleton project that Tanaka had information on David in his head at that time?
Yeah, I think it was mentioned. Kan dia kata if this boy can take apa the service time, kan, let's put him in that cyber skeleton suit. I'm pretty sure you see the Arasaka exec kan have made the switch kan. They're supposed to when they're supposed to hit the convoy kan, they thought there was 13.5 million credits inside the whole car, but actually it's just the suit. There was never there was never money.
So following on from that, then Lucy went going around killing all
Lucy
these
knew
other runners.
Lucy knew Arasaka kan wants to. No, Lucy knew Arasaka wants David to be taken so that they can become the guinea pig for the cyber skeleton.
So my question is, Lucy is doing this on her own. Because behave is the wrong word. On her own volition lah. So she wasn't paid by somebody to kill all these net runners. Then dia buat kerja ni sorang-sorang. Because as you say, she's.
In my belief, I think she's doing it for love.
Yeah, but she's not doing it for another firm or whatever lah.
For herself.
No. For herself.
Yeah, for herself. Yeah. Alright, cerita ni. Any tu Tollywood ke apa? Have you got anything else to add, Munif?
Yeah, well, basically, this second half of the episode. So, like you said, to me, it got a bit confusing initially, because I guess on one hand, what you see is what you get. Also, suddenly the crew is just with time they're falling apart and all that, and then a series of events happen, and I knew that Lucy wanted to protect David lah, so that's why she was taking out upon figuring out that Arasaka has got the evil eye on David, so that's why she was taking out all the other net runners and everything. So I got that, but when Andri cakap pasal maybe she also instigated the destruction of the crew, now I'm thinking that actually the pieces fall in a lot better with that theory. It's true, because if you think about it, if we know Lucy loves David, we know Lucy wants David to get out of this whole bullshit, and together, we've had enough money and everything, not just go to the moon together, whatever. So I understand the part where she took out all the net runners, because on one hand, the Arasaka has their talents on David. But when I think about it, that's not the only thing that has their talents, their claws on David. The other thing is Maine and the crew. Because Maine and the crew is giving David purpose, and padahal you boleh lari with this hot chick yang gila babi suka kau, tapi with dia terhutang budi with Maine and the crew for saving him from his abyss and depression and giving him purpose. So then you look back to Lucy, if she actually went through these dangerous lengths to go against Arasaka, to blind them and take out all these netrunners, why would she half-ass it? Because the other 50% of the problem is the crew. Yeah. So
let me just add something. You see how the first person of the crew who died, Pillar, the most tech-savviest of the group. Kiwi was the next target. And then main kan, was the obvious next target. Rebecca give and take lah. She's a
dia bang je.
Dia bang je.
She was not definitely Rebecca though. She was
so the order of people dying kan, or attempted murder, right, makes sense tau for her strategy to work tau. In Pillar's case kan, he got killed by a homeless robot, homeless cyborg. None of us seen it. It happened just like that. It's like me going to dataran Medan Selera kan, and get shot by the mamak there. For some reason I don't know why. It's that random, but with plan it's genius.
Another thing also why I said like this theory makes sense is because, like I said, if she just took out the netrunners, that's just 50% of the problem, kan? Because the other half is David's attachment to the crew. So, and going by the theory that Lucy did systematically broke the crew and took them out one by one, it's also the fact that one thing yang aku tak faham in my initial run watching the show is that why would she distance herself from the crew, tiba-tiba? Actually, that didn't make sense to me, But then with this theory, it made sense because I guess she was feeling guilty, or to hide her actions better, she just created distance from the crew so that she eliminate the netrunners and also eliminate the crew from a distance. And that's when I feel it. Now it makes sense to me why she suddenly. I thought takkanlah dia block because she was shaken. She's done so many fucked up missions with these guys. Then why suddenly Yani tiba-tiba just shaken sampai the distance from them? But it was actually a tactical retreat, so to speak, because she wants to eliminate her presence from the crew. So the suspicion will not really be there because out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Suddenly they'll be seemingly naturally being taken out one by one. So yeah, because of all these factors, I feel that the Lucy sabotage the crew makes sense. It really does. It answers a lot of things.
Yeah, I just going to add something. Tadi Catherine the Great ada mention. I just flashed it on the screen just now. I think just to try answer Shaz's question about when exactly Maine went into cyberpsychosis. Was that after when? Remember the guy who did those BD videos? When Tanaka had this fetish of people getting snuffed or whatever it was. So apparently after they killed, after that artist got killed, and then he became psychotic after that. But yeah, aku macam ingat tak ingat.
I mean, this is a completely different theory than the one I had. That Lucy was just distancing herself because the Arasaka punya net was getting closer on her to the point where they're sending more and more net runners to find her, because she was one of the few people who was trained to go into the old web. So bagi yang tak biasa dengan the law, the old web ni is
please tell us old web.
Antara 2020 and 2077 dia ada banyak perang-perang actual warfare, nuclear and whatnot. Luar daripada Night City ni, there's a lot of wastelands. Like actual macam game Fallout punya scenario, setengah-setengah cities out there, dia orang dah combine jadi mega cities and whatnot. But yang pentingnya, the at some point in the story, I tak ingat tahun dia, the entire old network collapse. Basically, internet yang kita duk pakai sekarang ni dengan berjuta-juta YouTube, TikTok, Twitter and whatnot,
it's pretty much the old net lah. That's the old net lah kira.
Yeah, so our current internet, it collapsed, and a lot of military level punya communications, dia punya guarded secrets and whatnot were lost.
lost there.
So it becomes like a jungle and internet for you to find, because masa tu orang dah start developing dah all these ICE and all these other automated defense mechanism. So you bayangkan if some of those programs were created to the point where they can self-replicate, memang dia akan jadi dangerous lah. They can start invading different parts of the network and whatnot. So kalau network tu bergantung kepada connection antara negara ni, tiba-tiba one of the central hub meletup. Contoh, tak tahulah, mungkin kalau katakan the connection antara, macam Malaysia dia ada two big connection to the internet. Tiba-tiba Hong Kong terbakar, the whole of Hong Kong crash and everything, then all of our network through that way hilang loh. So kalau katakan the western exit to our internet pun pecah, we have zero connectivity tau. Kita kena duk lalu ke Thailand and whatnot, dia punya connection, so it will be very slow. And then suddenly all our connections to Thailand pun putus. All of our internet punya information, all our servers and whatnot, semua dah jadi isolated from the World Wide Web. So that is the dia punya scenario whereby you will have small internet connections here and there, which is normally not fit for use by modern standards, but it is worth diving into to find information kat sana. So that is the old net lah. That is why they ARASAKA train all these budak-budak daripada kecil, partly because being budak senang nak train, and then you can implant things and whatnot because their brain is still developing. So bila you suruh dia masuk situ, and then budak-budak they have less fear of the unknown kan, budak-budak.
Yelah.
Of course, when a lot of them started dying on the net, that's when they started to run lah. So tinggal Lucy seorang.
Exactly. Right. Anyway, we're coming to a point in this discussion in which I'm going to throw something really cheesy. Pada terasnya, at its core, adakah Cyberpunk and EDGERUNNERS sebuah kisah cinta? Who wants to answer first?
Bagi Adi jawab, dia yang mula kan.
It's a love story, a tragic one lah.
Yeah. I quite like it actually. I mean, at the end of the day, there's not just love between Lucy or there's love between. I mean, not just because they were kissing, but people like Maine had his love for his crew, blah blah blah. Then you got Becca, love for his brother, blah blah blah. While she wants to kill him.
Becca pun love David.
David.
Kau tahu terbakar the meme internet world, kau tahu. Dia were like, kenapa Becca disalahkan macam ni, celaka Becca. I don't smash her. Why did you do that to her? Like, oh shit. There were more fans to her and onto the level of Lucy tau. It was unexpected lah.
Okay, this is a little thing that I found on the website and actually fact checked it on Twitter. So Rafael Yaki, who's pretty much the showrunner, when he did the story for this, and obviously when he did the story and the screenplay was then done by Trigger added a character to what they've already made. So it's like, what? You're adding this person? I mean, they weren't happy with it. So it was Becca. And then I don't have it with me now, but if you go to the tweet, nantilah, I will put it down in the description. I'll put it in the description because if I put it in the comment section, it'll get deleted because YouTube hates links. I don't know why that is. So basically, it's a Twitter from Rafael Yaki. So he tweeted in September 2022 that CD Projekt Red wasn't too keen on a new character and being added to the story by Trigger until they saw the character design of Becca. And Rafael states that Becca is and then they agreed to it. He states that at the end of the day, he felt that Becca is integral to the story. I mean, as you can see, what she's like to David kan. Dia suka David, tapi David sayang Lucy. And it's also one of his favorite characters. So it's one of his favorite characters. But if you were to look on the net, a lot of people were going around along the lines of, the CD Projekt Red didn't like her character because they made her a lolly. But Raphael didn't say anything about. There wasn't any lolly issue. It's just that they didn't want another character, and then they're like, oh, that's not bad. That's not a bad character. And then when they saw how she's being fit into the whole story, they loved her. So yeah,
it's because the entire story can run without backup. The entire story makes complete sense even without backup. Backup is an anime character.
Yeah.
But
of course, because it was designed by. Yeah.
No, not that. As in that, she has all the classic anime trope. The chibi, lolly, angry girl who can actually fight, who is so cute, who is like also suka the main, tapi the main suka another di, macam Ram from apa cerita aku tak ingat.
Somebody did mention on I was watching a video essay. I can't remember whether it was by Glass Reflection or whether it was by Mother's Basement. That they mentioned that Rebecca is like Ram to Subaru to what?
Yes, that's the one aku cakap.
To what? Because Subaru suka Amelia, isn't it, or something like that?
Yes.
I love
you
Amelia.
Have the fated couple, and you have the fan favorite couple. Tapi the fated couple got through. So macam like,
Any other comments on cerita-cinta ni?
Kalau aku actually personally, I do not like to watch like romantic shows, kat wayang ke anime ke, because when I watch things, when I want to be entertained, I want to see shit explode. That's it. So,
well, we got a love story with shit exploding.
So that's why initially, because when the show was like going on, I thought ni ada Lucy, tu protagonis remaja macam tak nak lah, tolong lah. But then they didn't slow down on the gore, on the action, on the blood, on the exploding it. So like, okay, it's a love story that I will accept. It's as good as any lah, if it has to be a love story.
I personally don't think dia orang macam kita buat the cinta-cinta make it not obvious, but I don't think so. It's just a good story, and
it's just a good story.
It's just a good story, and then just love seems to be the main.
There's an element there.
Main core of it. Okay,
that's
so
why I don't mind.
Aku nak tambah. Aku rasa Kiwi dengan dia orang punya main fixer tu also at some point was romantically linked. Kalau tidak, dia tak ada cara dia cakap tu, it's not that way.
Macam intimate, macam kenal.
Macam intimate juga, like one last time. Macam like, but it's probably an abusive punya relationship. So that's why Kiwi macam like, tak nak lah, nanti aku kena piak lagi lah, tak nak lah.
So are you trying to say that Faraday has probably more than 4 eyes?
You like to know?
No, I don't want to know. Anyway, sorry.
Kiwi dengan Faraday tu macam Joker dengan ni lah. Apa nama Joker dengan
Harley
Quinn.
Yeah. They probably have an abusive relationship. Cuma dia orang tak explain further lah.
Anyway, right. So looks like we're gonna be going to the segment terakhir for this chat. So let's go there now. Right. As you notice, I've not done anything geeky in this session, but I will do that now. So I've got here a list of the characters worth mentioning lah, as far as I am concerned. These are the list of the Japanese voice actors or seiyus for this. Saya tengok in Japanese. Siapa tengok in English?
English.
Pardon? English?
Oh my god, why?
I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even thought about changing. I just press play, and then whatever came out, that's what it is.
Yeah. Anyway,
actually, it's okay. I tahan people who actually shame people who watch dub tau. Shame on you. Shame on your cat. Shame on your cow. Shame on your ancestor. Shame on your plant.
Itu terpulang kepada masing-masing lah kan. Tapi it's just that I like to watch it in Japanese. That's all. So basically, David Martinez, dia punya voice actor haram, aku tak tahu dia berlakon jadi apa. Nama dia Ken. That's it. I don't think he's a new actor, but I've never heard of him ever. But for Lucy, she's well known. She's Aoi Yuki. I think Andri knows her. You know her. You've been mentioning her name a lot last time. She's Asui Suyu, the frog.
Oh yeah, frog girl. Yeah.
Yeah, she's Diane in 7 Deadly Sins, and she's Manami Mami, the everybody's favorite bitch in Kanokeri. And as for Rebecca,
she sounds nothing like Suyu, though. She's a good.
Yeah. Because she goes. That's why she's. Yeah, Rebecca is she's kind of newish actress, Kurosawa Tomoyo. She's the leading. She plays the lead character in Hibike Euphonium by Kyoani Omae Kumiko, and there's this new anime this fall called Akiba Meido Senso. Akiba Made War.
Yeah,
it's about I need to watch it because apparently mula-mula aku get cute. Mati lah, apalah, monster lah. So I'm watching that. So she's one of the characters in that. Faraday is Inoue Kazuhiko, and he's well known to people as Hatake Kakashi Sensei. His Kazo Jojo. He's the mystery swordsman in Kimetsu no Yaiba. We've had an introduction to him on the roof in the second season.
The voice actor pun macam orang korpo dengan business suit.
Dia dah older gentleman lah. And lastly, Reaper Dog. Reaper Dog Suda Kenjiro ni dia famous pasal karakter dia semua jenis muka macam like he is. I think Shaz, you kenal dia because I mentioned him only in Overlord baru ni. He's Nanami Kento in Jujutsu Kaisen. He's Overhaul, the guy with the big in My Hero Academia. He's Tatsu. He's the Yakuza husband in The Way of the House Husband. And he's going to be Kishibe in the upcoming Chainsaw Man anime. And in fact, Kishibe looks like him. So that's my little trivia corner lah. Tapi segmen ni sebenarnya adalah rating kami. So selalunya kami bagi harapan. Because we don't even know whether there's anything going to come. But I think with what BuzzPop, the way BuzzPop does with series that has concluded or movies will give a rating. I mean, I'll give my quick Mickey Mouse anime only rating of 8/10. I mean, I always give everything a 7. And then if I feel it's going to be bad, I bring it down. If I think it's good, I bring it up. I mean, rarely things go to 10. 10 has to be something like phenomenal, historic level. 9 is like okay, but yeah, 8 is just like better than normal. They're better than my average for me lah. So I enjoyed it the way it is, the way it was presented, because I do not know anything about it, and I genuinely felt it was a good story lah. But I know it sounds very generic, but what are your guys punya view? So here we start with Andri.
Okay. I give this a strong 8 out of 10. A lot of things I like, but also a lot of things I do not like. I think it needs more episodes because of the plot, worlds, character building, and I also have to deduct a point because of character inconsistencies tau. Case in point, Kiwi tau. At the end, she died meeting up Faraday kan in the open like that tau. She's one of the smartest characters in the crew tau, yang aware of backstabbings and betrayal. She herself kan is involved in betrayal. You mean to tell me that she went to see Faraday kan not wearing a bulletproof vest under that trench coat or kinetic damper or anything, and she got shot one time and then oh fuck, I got shot in the chest, I'm dying. No preparation at all, no backup. It's inconsistent, and then a lot of things yang kita didn't see, like at the end of episode 6 after Main dah mati kan, episode 7 we just jump into a new main character, new main replacement, David lah. He becomes the top dog. We don't see his coping on the crew punya death. Dorio was dead and they treat her like she didn't exist tau. There was no mention of Dorio from most of the crew tau. Padahal Dorio was basically like main second-hand person now. She played an important part in the group and she was like an afterthought. There was no, how you say, time given kan for them to actually dwell in their punya misery tau. We didn't, like I said, we didn't see David kan recover from the loss of their punya friends tau. Okay. And I would like more story kan on Gloria tau. She deserve more scenes because we like her, but we want to know kan about dia punya complicated background. Like I said, she works for Arasaka, but she been stealing stuff from dead people because of her job because she wants to put David through school. I want to see if she has I'm interested to see if she has some sort of moral what you call that struggle inside her, you know. She looks like someone macam apa who has good principles, but she has to resort this stuff to put her son through the corpo punya red tape and all that shit lah. So it deserves, I think on its own it deserves a 9 out of 10 if they fix all of this. If they put like, it doesn't have to be 26 episodes. It could be 13 episodes, 3 extra episodes to address all these small things. It could have been a strong 9, but I'm giving it 8 for what it is right now. And this is Trigger's probably second best work that I enjoyed. First still remains is Little Witch Academia.
Never seen it yet. Okay. Munif, your rating on this?
My rating on this will be an 8 also lah. So aku duk fikir. It really falls on an 8 because the good things about it is that I really love the action, the choreography. I really love the artworks too because it is a drawing, so I could really appreciate the use of colors and the art style. And I also like how they set up Night City because almost every scene the backdrop is not neglected. You know, like how certain anime maybe there are more character scenes of black to side just a blank or something. Because they understand that Night City is also a character, so they really did the city justice. The story is pretty straightforward lah, actually. Unless you consider that whole like twist with Lucy, which is actually still debatable. I think I'll go through a second run and then maybe like just see like what maybe the many things that I missed also. But I could say generally the storyline is quite straightforward, which is not a bad thing though. Because you know, some stories they try to be a bit too clever and they bite off more than they could chew like that. So simplicity is good because it's not easy to design simple too. And yeah, well basically I think we generally agree with what makes the story good lah. But then why the points are deducted also, I think Andre has pretty much covered a lot of things that we agree. Like certain things didn't have the chance to marinate, to simmer, to dwell a bit. Characters that are dying after getting introduced after 1.5 episodes and so on. But here's the thing: almost all of the criticism about the anime Cyberpunk, I don't consider it's like collectively damaging because all of those criticisms, ironically, could be solved with one thing, which is an extended runtime or extended episode. So the way I see it then, why I came to an 8 out of 10 rating is because it has a lot of flaws, but all the flaws boils down to a lack of episodes and runtime. That's one thing. And ironically, if they actually fix that, I agree, like with Andre, so it could be a 9, but here's the thing. It would have been a 10 for me, but not on the anime, no, if they didn't fuck up the launch of the game. If the launch of the game was superb, the anime come out with a perfect runtime that we want, with extra episodes for us to care and delve in the world, care for the characters, like absorb the deaths and the tragedies and all the themes that they were promoting to us in the show. It really could have been a 10.
Munif, I think you should get out on that 10 lah, because they already fucked up upper on the launch lah. There's no changing that. There's no time machine.
That's why like, in an alternate timeline, if they didn't fuck up the launch and they actually give us enough like runtime, it really could have been perfect, but which is testament to how good the anime actually is lah. So a solid 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, and I quite like how they wrote the story to make it not typically anime dari segi macam, you know, like sometimes you have tropes with plot armor macam ni, because like the fact that you know, you've got David who's got you could make the story to make him indestructible, but we know from the get-go it's gonna die. No, somebody made I don't know. I can't remember whether it was one of those video essays I watched or whether somebody said it on the net. If you look at the opening credits, the animation, there's already an image of David with a hole in his head. You know, I mean, he wasn't shot.
Sitting up and shit.
So, by the fact that he became slowly succumbing to cyberpsychosis, we know it was going to be the end for, and it'll be a bad ending if he suddenly, aku hidup, lihatlah aku, and he needs to die. Anyway, sorry.
Would you prefer David still alive, living happily with Lucy in the moon growing space potatoes?
I didn't say I wanted him to be alive.
No, would it change your rating? I'm just asking. A lot of people they say, David should have survived. They should Lucy lives happily. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is as good as it gets.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's on them lah. Ada orang nak kita tu habis macam tu kan, all tied in a nice ribbon, like how I like Licorice Recall ending.
But
anyway, Shaz. Sorry.
Sorry. I feel that if they actually, I understand because we've been through the depressing ending, and of course our hearts will if only they could be together, whatever kan. But at the same time, they can lari from the theme of cyberpunk, which is the futility of life and this really cruel, uncaring city, you know. Sebab I know we feel that we want that ending after the fact, but then if we actually got that ending, we probably not like it as much or not talk about it as much, you know. If anything, a lot of the chatter happens because of such a, like, you know, in a sea of happy ending kind of fan servicing kind of shows. This is like, fuck you, fuck what you like, fuck who you like, they all die, fuck it, you know. So because of that also is why people see, that's Night City for you, and people, whether you like or hate the ending, you're talking about it non-stop. So,
at least there's an ending, because kadang-kadang Jepun ni dia buat wayang tak ada ending tau, like open ending. Oh god. Anyway, Shalom, back to you. One is burning the midnight oil. Anyway, Shaz, bring us home.
Okay.
Oh no, you gonna give up.
Kalau anda aku dah bagi 3 rating, dah bagi 3. If you have masalah against strobing lights, mata sensitif, photosensitive, you boleh kena sawan and whatnot, this is 0. Jangan tengok. Sebab you boleh jadi gila.
Bukan gila, epilepsi.
Epilepsi. So kalau kita tengok from a strictly critic punya point of view, aku agree dengan Munif dengan Andri, it's an 8 out of 10. Episode tak cukup, and all of that commentary yang kita mention, kalau they add a bit more episodes, it will be great. So yang tu aku full agree. So my third rating and my most honest rating, sebab masa aku tengok tu aku hype gila, aku tak peduli, aku bagi 11 bro, 11/10. Tak nampak pun flaw, tak nampak, because you completely fall into the cyberpunk punya world tau, dengan dia punya cyberware, cyber psychosis, dia punya net running, how they display all the internet ni, dia punya gunfight, you boleh nampak tau. Dia punya gun yang besar, they actually have to brace themselves to tembak, or you boleh nampak they actually have all the cyber to make them shoot stable. The way they represent the Sunday Vista, dia punya
and one more thing, have you noticed how the road traffic accident scenes look fantastic? Yang macam kat crossroad, kalau bloody well done, man. Kereta langgar-langgar. Anyway, sambung.
Kan, I mean the colors were great. The fan service was awesome. You know,
Yeah.
dia punya
Yeah.
goal was like, main character punya team mati ke? Like, oh, okay, this is going to be different. Then after that, more main character mati, like, the shock and the feeling that you are really in the story, macam kau main RPG dengan game master yang, oh kau mati come again another day bro, because dia macam permadeath punya situation. You have characters dying, and macam the first episode tu, the cyber psychosis punya guy bila mati, bila okay, side character, you know, just to introduce the concept. Then bila main character mati, like, wait. So throughout the whole series, aku macam like, yes, they're gonna have a good ending. Saya ada special. Aku dah, oh my god. Oh my god. They actually put a character from the game who we know takkan mati ke tu.
Oh, so he's the game.
He's the boss.
In the
This whole story happened 1 year before the game.
So
1 year before
kau
the game.
bayangkan, dia letak a character in the game
From the
trailer and everything. He is the strongest cyber character in the Arasaka punya industry, with all the backing, all the labs and everything. Aku dah like, oh shit, we're actually going to see him. Sebab aku tak main the game. We're going to see him fight. Aku ingat dia akan partner dengan David.
Anyway, people like you and Andre nobody will live lah, because he's there.
No.
Yeah, when
I know
he
that
came,
Adam
when he
special
came,
takkan mati.
memang
I'll be honest. I know David's gonna die.
Yalah.
Well, there 2 scenes. One where he shot that poor woman in the lab, the innocent woman.
Okay.
Wanted to see dia punya daughter punya school event or everything. And the second when they mentioned Adam Special, I'm like, oh shit, you're all gonna die.
Bila nampak Adam Special, aku dah, oh my god, this is going to be so awesome. Who are they going to hunt? You're going to hunt David Martinez. Sudah. Aku dah like, oh my god, my happy ending. Who's going to die? So, aku totally on the edge of my seat gitu. That's why it's an 11 out of 10, because kau tak nampak flaws dia tau. Sedar-sedar kan dah episode 10. Okay, next. Dah 10 Aku dah, oh shit. Allah, kenapa berhenti kat sini? You know, I was hoping that they recovered David ke apa ke. Kan? Dia recover. Oh, rupa-rupanya he's paralyzed, he's under recovery. Becca dia orang jumpa balik ke, pun macam like, kau ingat kau akan mati ke setan? Aku dah Becca, you know. Tapi sudah habis episod 10. Aku like,
Becca was a pulp.
dia kena wrestling move.
Becca was pizza.
Becca was jam.
So that's why aku punya 3 rating. Kalau you tak boleh tengok, tolong jangan tengok, because this thing can really cause epilepsy. From a critical neutral standpoint, is an 8. Tapi kalau you like the whole cyberpunk concept, it's an 11 lah. Kau takkan nampak pun dia punya flaw. Sedar-sedar episode 10 kau macam like, kenapa pendek sangat series ni? Kalau you tengok kita punya discussion pun kan, kita pecah itu 3 distinct segments tau. Sebelum dia join main punya crew, main punya lead, and then after that dia jadi he became the leader. That's completely so many episodes you can run kat situ tau. So confirm 11 out of 10 for me. That's my honest review.
I've averaged. So 11 plus 3 8 making about 9ish for the average lah score from us. So well deserved. And I'm actually quite surprised despite the dismal sounding start that we had from you lot. But I'm pleased to hear that. So tak apa. Itu orang panggil apa, subvert expectation kan. That's what we are used to dealing with. So nampaknya kita sudah tiba di penghujung sesi bedah kita untuk malam ni, untuk CYBERPUNK EDGERUNNERS, dan diharapkan penonton di rumah terhibur. Kami berharap penonton di rumah akan kembali bersama kami only in 2 days time, hari Ahad ni pada 9 Oktober pada jam 9 malam untuk sesi ulasan bagi My Hero Academia Season 6 episod 1 berjudul Shizukana Hajimari or A Quiet Beginning, bersama panel yang terdiri daripada Andri, Syaz dan Nazir Khan. Anda mungkin wondering like, why aren't we doing season 6 episode 2 sekali? That's tomorrow. saya tak ada masa lah nak macam prepare overnight because I like to make it, easy going. So we'll have to wait for season 6 episode 2 di masa yang lain. So pada anda yang baru ke sesi kami, jangan lupa untuk melanggan, berkongsi dan klik butang like untuk kedua-dua laman YouTube Stomach of Chaos dan BuzzPopTV, laman pop culture Ramai Malaysia. So terima kasih kerana sudi bersama kami. Kepada rakan penelis saya hari ini, Otsukare sama Deshta, kepada Munif, thanks for joining us just as usual, dan Andri. Nice guys. Okay, dan saya Kudo Maharizu, ijo des mata atau de. Actually I forgot to say this. I mean, being part of BuzzPop, majulah fandom anime untuk negara.
Yeah.
Okay guys. Selamat malam. Nick, you need to give me a raise. Okay, bye.